gamers, you're in a Creepy here with a different kind of video. Today we're going to be making a Craft Bukkit server for all your plain Minecraft pleasures. First step is to make a new folder. New folder, and name it whatever you want. So your server name or Craft Bukkit Server, whatever. After you do that, open it up and all that good stuff. And you want to go to your browser, and you want to go to this website, dlbukkit.org, download Craft Bukkit, and it'll basically give you a bunch of versions of Craft Bukkit jars you want to do. This should be connected to your Minecraft server. Even though Craft Bukkit is only updated to 1.6.4, this process of making the server is will apply to every other version of Minecraft. It doesn't really change. But since it's only 1.6.4, which will probably be updated very soon, this will apply to 1.7.2 also. So it really doesn't matter. So you should download it. It will be a jar file, and you want to download your craftbukkit.jar, or move your craftbukkit.jar into your Craft Bukkit server folder. And yeah, after that, you want to create the you want to actually rename this file. To craftbukkit.jar. This is very important, and you must do this. Make a new text document. Name it like launcher or starter. It really doesn't matter. It's just the file that's gonna start it. And you want to name it to starter.bat. Yes. And you have to make it a bat file, or it will not work. So you want to copy and paste this code. This code will be used to start your server. Oops, should be Java. I will put this code in the description, so don't worry. There's other scripts for starting up your server that are different, the XMX and then the thing. It should be the number should be how much RAM your computer has. So 1024 megabytes. If your server computer, which I highly recommend you do this on a server computer, has like, I don't know, like 4 gigabytes, it's, you put the selected amount of megabytes. There's other scripts for this that do, like, you can put gigabytes, and yeah, but this is just one method. They're basically all the same. After you do that, you want to save it, and yeah. So you have these two files, and when you're done doing that, you want to do starter.bat, and you want to double click it, and it should open a command prompt. So now your server will create itself. It will make all the files, the world nether, all the configuration stuff files, and you can see it's now preparing the spawn area, basically making your world. And these are the level seeds if you want to use this in other maps and all that. So it shouldn't take very long, depending on your server computer's speed and capabilities, the processor and all that. So it should be done in a couple seconds. If you want to type this, this will bring up all the commands. If you do see an error that says, or a warning that says, the server computer overloaded or the system time change, don't worry about it. It's normal. It's just telling you that your server is using the full capacity of memory and all that. So after you do that, you want to always do save-all, or just type stop. It'll do all that stuff. If you just close your server, it could not save. It may not save the world file. So just don't close it. Just push like save all and stop, and it should safely come to a halt. Yeah. After you do that, you'll see all these files, and all these files are pretty self-explanatory. Plugins, world nether, world the end. Banned IPs is the IP if you don't want a player or on your server anymore, you just ban this IP. Yeah. And banned players, you could either do that or put their player name into this text file. Bukkit YML. Now this is pretty important. This is basically like the server configuration. The shutdown message, basically when you shut down your server, it will say to the player server closed or whatever. Plugin profiling, don't mess with that. All these are spawn limits, auto update, and all that good stuff. Okay, so if you ever got that warning that says, server is overloaded, blah blah blah, and you're kind of annoyed of it, and it kind of floods your console, just do false. Put that on false. And you want to actually save this. I recommend you get Notepad++. It's really good. And these are all very self-explanatory. Permissions, it's you put your permission nodes in there. You'll probably learn about it when you're more advanced into servers. Server properties is basically like Bukkit YML, except a little bit different. These are all very self-explanatory. I don't think I need to explain it. Besides whitelist. Whitelist is basically like the list to get into your server. So if you want it to be private or have a server where people have to apply to get in, you put a whitelist on it, and you set it to true, and you can change how much the players that get into your server in the whitelist.txt. If you want your server to be public and anybody can get on, I recommend don't doing that, because yeah. So after you have all this, it's pretty straightforward here. I recommend always hosting this on a separate computer. To make your server public, do not use Hamachi. Hamachi is kind of like a crutch, and it's not very good, because I mean it's good for private servers with your friends, but if you want to just host one without your friends or public people have to get Hamachi into your server, you want to port forward. Port forwarding is the greatest thing man could offer. Anyways, so you want to go actually to command prompt, and you want to type in ipconfig. This will pick up all your network information. What you want to get is the default gateway. It should be the last one. It should say default gateway. It should be 192.168.1 point something. Do not confuse it with the IPv4 address. It should just be default gateway. You want to go to your browser, and you want to enter the default gateway. So 192.168.1.1 is me. This is when it gets a little bit weird. All routers are different, and my router is a Verizon Fios Quantum router. So if you have this router, it should be pretty easy. But if you have like a Linksys or other router, it will be different. You should on your router there should be a thing called port forwarding, and you want to enter some information. So you may not have to do this further. Like I have a huge list, but in case you have to enter it, you could just just enter it 8.1.10. And the application to forward. Most routers have something that it says two boxes, and it says UPD and TCP, and then the range. You want it to do 25565. Now this port is configurable. You can change it if you want to. And it should be on TCP and UPD. That's very important. You have to do that, and you will click add and apply and all that. I've already port forwarded. See, it's right here, and it should work. Go to Bukkit plugins, and you can get like world edit or something like that. Plugins are basically like well, actually they're there's basically add-ons for your server. So you can get anything you want. There's a lot of stuff. You will need plugins when you host a public server, just for the sake of protecting stuff and having administration things. I've already downloaded it. Oh wow, okay, whatever. WorldGuard, or well, most big plugins will come in a zip file, but if they do come in a jar file, don't worry. You just drag it into the you just drag the jar file into the plugins folder. Now you want to get WinZip or WinRAR or 7-zip or whatever file opening service to get into this. You will have to take the jar file, and you want to drag it into the plugins folder, and it will be there. Now when your server starts, it will make a config file for your plugin. You can change it all in there. And so basically that's installing plugins. It's pretty simple. Now you can start your server up and you can play it. I'm not going to start it with Minecraft, but well, actually yeah, I will, for less confusion. again, if this is kind of redundant, you must, like, I mean, it's like a life or death situation that you host this on a separate computer. You can host it on your computer that you're playing Minecraft on, but it will not be the best thing ever, and it will be kind of crap. Depending on how good your computer is. If your computer's like Jesus and has like 32 gigabytes of RAM and like a 4.3 gigahertz processor, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, you want to host it on a separate computer. And if you think that you can't, like, you have to get, like, if you have your separate computer in another room, you have to get up and get to it. You don't have to. You can actually use a program called TeamViewer, is where you can control your server computer from your computer. And I recommend getting that too, if your computer is like in a separate room or whatever. I will give you the link to that website also. Yeah, your Minecraft will start up and blah blah blah. You go multiplayer and you want to add server, and your server address is actually your public address. You could actually enter the server's local IP, so 192.168.1.10. So this will actually be better, because I sometimes I had situations where I enter the public IP and it kicks me every so often. So you should enter your private IP also into the server address. But other players you will have to give them your public IP. And basically, refresh it. Now the problem is it's not updated Craft Bukkit, so it will say, like, you know, outdated version or whatever. But yeah, other than that, you're basically done, and you can play on your server and all that. Yeah, that was basically the tutorial. If you like this video and it works for you, subscribe and like, whatever. And if you want to, if you have any questions or it's not working for you, just put the situation you have in the comment section. I will reply to it and try to resolve the issue. Yeah, as always, your Radio and Creeper. We'll have some more gameplay videos out soon when Ian gets back from Vegas. So yeah, okay. As always, your Radio and Creeper. See ya.